Welcome to the Kinky List by Skoob, the podcast where we explore the deeper dimensions of human intimacy and connection. I'm your host, Zara Black, and today we're diving into a topic that combines physicality, psychology, and profound trust: impact play. Now, before we begin, I want to emphasize that everything we discuss today involves consenting adults who have clearly communicated their boundaries and desires. This isn't just about physical sensation, it's about connection, artistry, and understanding the complex landscape of human pleasure and power dynamics. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is impact play? At its most fundamental level, impact play involves one person consensually striking another for erotic purposes. But saying impact play is merely someone striking another person is like saying dance is just a process of lifting your feet. Anyone can hit the dance floor, but if you're really into dance, you can achieve transcendence through the study and practice of bodies in motion. Impact play is much the same. It's about rhythm, finesse, compatibility, mood, style, expression, and most importantly, connection. This isn't random violence or aggression. This is an art form that requires skill, attention, and deep communication between partners. The world of impact play encompasses an incredible variety of techniques and tools. There's paddling, whipping, flogging, cropping, strapping, and caning. Each method produces different sensations and serves different psychological purposes. With hands alone, practitioners can learn to graze the curve of skin or deliver more substantial impacts. The human touch remains the most intimate starting point. Your palms offer unparalleled control, allowing you to read the receiver's skin flush and muscle responses in real time. But beyond hands, the tool selection becomes fascinatingly diverse. Paddles can range from simple wooden implements to elaborate designs with backward stencil-like indentations that leave temporary imprints. Single-tail whips hang in many play spaces, though their casual presence in imagery belies the significant skill required to wield them safely and effectively. What many people don't realize is that sometimes impact isn't the main event at all. Sometimes a spanking serves as foreplay, a meditative warm-up for other activities. A single smack might communicate, "Behave yourself," or "I own you," or "You better listen up," or simply, "Doesn't it feel nice to be touched by me?" Each strike carries meaning beyond the physical sensation. The psychological component cannot be overstated. For some participants, impact play serves as a form of meditation. Busy brains switched to serenity mode by rhythmic sensation. For others, it's about vulnerability and exposure, creating altered states of consciousness. The combination of physical sensation and psychological surrender creates experiences that participants describe as transformative. Now let's explore the sophisticated world of impact play implements. Each tool in this arsenal delivers unique sensations, ranging from gentle sting to deep thud, and each demands its own approach to consent, warm-up, and precision. Starting with hands, they remain the most intimate and accessible tool. There's no learning curve needed, just communication. Hands are perfect for beginners because they allow for immediate feedback and connection. You can slap for sharp sensation, cup your palm for deeper, more resonant impacts, or rake nails between strikes for contrasting sensations. The skin-to-skin contact builds trust and allows for real-time adjustment based on your partner's responses. Paddles represent the next level of control and sensation. These can be crafted from wood, leather, silicone, or acrylic, ranging in size from palm-sized implements to full cheek spanning paddles. They deliver even, thudding impacts that create heat gradually and predictably. The satisfying crack sound adds a psychological element that many find thrilling. For beginners, paddles are forgiving. They're easy to control and gauge force without unwelcome surprises. Floggers bring an entirely different dimension. They're about sensory artistry. These multi-tailed implements come in various materials: suede for soft, thudding sensations, leather for sharper, stingier impacts, or rubber for intense bite. The multiple tails disperse energy, creating rain-like sensations that can range from gentle tickles when using just the tips to heavy impacts when using the full tails. Floggers are particularly forgiving for intermediate practitioners because the multiple contact points distribute force. For those seeking sharper sensations, canes and sticks demand true mastery. These thin, flexible implements, whether made from rattan, delrin, or bamboo, deliver precise lines of intense sensation. They create what practitioners describe as zippy stings that fade into endorphin-induced euphoria. However, these tools require extensive practice and knowledge, as improper use can cause injury. Belts and straps offer their own unique appeal, delivering heavy, resonant impacts from doubled leather. When used properly, they create deep tissue sensations that build endorphin responses gradually. Their weight and flexibility make them excellent for intensity progression in various positions. The key to all of these implements is understanding that each serves different purposes and creates different experiences. Quality matters enormously. Cheap or poorly made implements can be dangerous. Proper cleaning and maintenance ensure both safety and longevity of your tools. Let's focus on spanking as the foundational element of impact play. For many couples and individuals, spanking serves as the gateway into broader impact exploration, and understanding its dynamics is crucial for anyone interested in this realm. How does a couple begin this journey? It starts with conversation. Detailed, specific conversation. Partners must decide who takes which role, though some couples switch positions while others maintain consistent dynamics. The context needs careful structuring. Will there be role-play scenarios, perhaps teacher and student, authority figure and civilian, or caregiver and patient? Some prefer no elaborate storylines, focusing purely on the sensual pleasure derived from the acts themselves. The emotional tone requires equal consideration. Is the receiving partner meant to be playfully defiant, deliberately misbehaving to earn what they desire? Or should they embody contrition and repentance? Should the giving partner be stern and authoritative or loving and nurturing? These emotional subtexts prove as powerful and exciting as any physical behaviors. Initially, erotic spanking might feel awkward or silly. This is completely normal. The key is continued experimentation and adjustment until you find formulas that work for both partners. Don't worry about what others might be doing. Focus on your unique dynamic. With practice, partners can slide into the appropriate headspace with minimal cues, but initially, it helps to plan and discuss as much as possible in advance. Concentration represents the most critical safety factor when engaging in any impact during intimate moments. Focus must remain on each impact as it occurs. Injuries happen when minds aren't fully present. Sexual arousal can make concentration challenging, but the two aren't mutually exclusive. Each strike deserves full attention. Don't think about what's coming next, or dwell on what just happened. When using implements rather than hands, attention becomes even more crucial because the person delivering impact doesn't receive direct feedback about force and effect. You must pay extra attention to your partner's reactions to prevent injury and ensure positive experiences. Knowing when to stop is as important as knowing how to begin. Remember that the ultimate objective is sexual connection and satisfaction. When playful acting gives way to genuine arousal, writhing, panting, moaning, focus needs to shift from impact to more direct sexual engagement. Trust your bodies to communicate when it's time to set implements aside and pursue other forms of intimacy. The implements used in spanking range from hands to specialized paddles, each offering different sensations and psychological impacts. Leather gloves create additional sensory layers, making occasions feel more special and ceremonial. Padded paddles offer good starting points, allowing easy warm-up with textured surfaces, perhaps fur-covered on one side and smooth on the other. The contrast between rubbing with the soft side and striking with the firm side creates delicious anticipation. Unpadded paddles present more challenge, creating stingier sensations that require greater care to avoid bruising or marking. Belts can be exciting because they can contact both sides simultaneously, but they're also harder to direct and control, especially for beginners. Each stroke requires careful aim and attention. Moving into more advanced territory, let's explore caning and flogging, techniques that can elevate impact play experiences to extraordinary levels when practiced with skill and care. Caning represents one of the most intense forms of impact play, requiring significant skill development and deep trust between partners. The beauty of caning lies in its precision and the unique sensations it creates. A well-executed caning scene builds intensity gradually, creating experiences that can be both challenging and deeply satisfying. One effective method for managing intensity involves numerical feedback systems. Partners can rate strikes from 1 to 10, allowing for real-time communication about force and effect. Interestingly, as scenes progress and endorphins build, strikes that initially rated as 7s eventually feel like 3s. The body's natural pain management systems create these shifts in perception. Variation is crucial in caning. Alternating between medium strikes and heavier ones creates rhythm and prevents adaptation. Technique matters enormously. A sharp blow that's pulled back just before full impact creates more sting, while following through past the impact creates more thud and deeper penetration. Many practitioners incorporate touching, rubbing, or caressing between strikes, maintaining connection and allowing for intensity management. Like other forms of impact play, caning can incorporate additional elements for enhanced pleasure. Some practitioners enjoy combining caning with other forms of stimulation, creating complex sensory experiences. The rhythm of impact can become meditative and, for some, even orgasmic. Rhythmic caning, like rhythmic spanking, can produce profound physiological responses. Learning to read your partner's responses becomes crucial with caning. What might appear as distress could actually be building arousal. Communication and experience help partners distinguish between different types of responses and adjust accordingly. Some individuals can actually reach orgasm through rhythmic caning when properly executed. Bruising is more common with caning than with lighter forms of impact. Different people respond differently. Some cherish marks as souvenirs or reminders of positive experiences, while others prefer to minimize marking. For those wanting to reduce bruising, applying cold during the first 48 hours afterward helps, followed by heat application. Keeping skin moisturized and using natural remedies can aid healing. Flogging represents perhaps the most versatile form of impact play. Walk into any dungeon or play space, and you'll find floggers are the most common implements in toy collections. This popularity stems from their ability to provide an incredible variety of sensations within a single implement. Choosing the right flogger involves several considerations. Handle construction matters enormously. Traditional floggers often feature braided leather handles with decorative knots, while others use wooden handles. The handle should feel balanced and secure in your grip, with weight distribution between handle and tails that feels natural for your body size and strength. Handle length and diameter should feel proportionate and comfortable. Like selecting a tennis racket, the flogger should fit your hand and body mechanics. What works for one person might not work for another, and most serious practitioners own multiple floggers for different purposes and sensations. Tail length significantly affects both sensation and control. Longer tails travel greater arcs and provide more impact, but they also require more strength and skill to control accurately. Shorter tails offer better control for beginners and work better in confined spaces. Never cut flogger tails to shorten them. This ruins the implement's balance. Instead, trade or gift floggers that don't suit your needs. Material choice dramatically affects sensation. Deerskin, elk, and lambskin create the lightest, softest impacts, perfect for warm-up or sensual play. Oil-tanned leather and bullhide provide heavier sensations, while cowhide ranges from light to heavy, depending on thickness. Buffalo and bison leather offer maximum thud while remaining less dense than other heavy leathers. The technique in flogging ranges from gentle, teasing strokes that barely make contact to heavy full-arm swings that create intense impacts. Varying grip changes sensation dramatically. Light grips using just tail tips create tickling sensations, while full tail contact delivers substantial impact. Practice is essential, preferably on inanimate objects initially, as poor technique can cause tails to wrap around the body and create unwanted sharp sensations. Now let's delve into the deeper psychological dimensions of impact play and its relationship to power dynamics, transformation, and human connection. This is where impact play transcends mere physical sensation and becomes something truly profound. The relationship between impact play and power exchange is complex and deeply personal. For many practitioners, the physical sensations serve as gateways to altered states of consciousness and profound psychological experiences. The interplay between control and surrender, dominance and submission, creates psychological landscapes that can be incredibly fulfilling for all involved. Consider the psychology of different impact techniques. Slapping, for instance, often serves more for psychological effect than physical pain. When done safely and consensually, it can create powerful feelings of vulnerability and surrender. However, this requires exceptional care and technique. Proper face slapping involves supporting the receiver's head to prevent neck injury, aiming for safe areas below the cheekbone, and using only wrist action rather than arm swings. Spanking, particularly in over-the-knee positions, creates intimate power dynamics that many find deeply satisfying. The positioning itself, lying across a partner's lap, creates vulnerability and dependence. The type of verbal communication used during spanking scenes dramatically affects psychological impact. The clothing choices, the ritual aspects, the pace and intensity all contribute to the overall psychological experience. Different practitioners seek different psychological states through impact play. Some crave the vulnerability that comes with exposure and surrender. Being restrained and subjected to impact creates feelings of being completely at someone else's mercy, which can be profoundly liberating for people who carry heavy responsibilities in their daily lives. For others, impact play serves as a form of meditation or therapy. The intense focus required, both to give and receive impact safely, creates mindfulness states that quiet mental chatter and anxiety. Many practitioners report that their neurotic inner voice gets silenced by the intensity of sensation and focus required during scenes. There's also the aspect of accomplishment and pride that comes with enduring challenging sensations. Unlike many life challenges that have unclear metrics for success, impact play scenes have clear, contained arcs with beginnings, middles, and ends. Participants know definitively whether they've succeeded in their roles, which can be deeply satisfying. The vulnerability required for impact play can paradoxically create feelings of power and strength. Willingness to be vulnerable, to expose oneself to another person's control, requires tremendous courage and trust. Many practitioners find that this vulnerability, rather than weakening them, makes them feel more powerful and self-aware. Professional perspectives on impact play reveal additional psychological dimensions. For those who engage in professional sessions, there's often a clarity and honesty about needs and boundaries that many find refreshing compared to vanilla relationship dynamics. The explicit negotiation of what indignities one is willing to experience and for what compensation can feel more honest than the implicit negotiations that occur in many other forms of work and relationship. The market dynamics of professional impact play also reveal interesting truths about value and desire. Physical characteristics that might not be conventionally celebrated in mainstream culture can become significant assets in kink communities. This revaluation of bodies and desires can be profoundly liberating for people who don't fit conventional beauty standards. The contained nature of impact play scenes, with clear beginnings, middles, and ends, appeals to many practitioners who struggle with ambiguity in other life areas. There's something satisfying about experiences that have clear resolution and defined success metrics. For many, impact play serves as a form of stress relief and mental health maintenance. The endorphin releases triggered by intense sensation can create natural highs that help manage depression, anxiety, and other mental health challenges. The deep focus required during scenes can serve as meditation and mindfulness practice. The community aspects of impact play also provide psychological benefits. Kink communities often emphasize consent, communication, and authenticity in ways that mainstream culture sometimes lacks. Learning to articulate desires, set boundaries, and advocate for one's needs within kink contexts often improves communication skills in all life areas. As we wrap up today's conversation on impact play, remember this: at its core, this practice isn't about force or pain. It's about intention, trust, and presence. When done consciously, impact play becomes a powerful language of connection, where communication, consent, and emotional awareness matter just as much as technique. What many people don't realize is that the real transformation doesn't happen on the surface. It happens in the quiet moments of trust, in the vulnerability of giving and receiving, and in the psychological depth that few talk about openly. There are layers to this world, stories, experiences, and truths that go far beyond what we've touched on today. And some of those layers might surprise you. If you're curious to explore the deeper psychology, untold experiences, and nuanced realities behind impact play, download the Skoob app now to get access to the full story. There's much more waiting for you when you're ready to listen,